don't know where my brain is going to be on the 22nd. Just
Welcome, welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today we've got myself, Meerkat, Isaac Muir. We got Charles, we got Holly, and we got Matt, who's hanging out today. And today we're going to be working on more Song of Origins stuff. You want to kind of walk us through what the plan is for today, Perp?
Okay, so the 2 weeks ago's piece was setting up the eggs, the story of the Sorosol, that kind of stuff. Today I'm going to start working on the piece that is in the aftermath of everything that was shown off.
And that includes the healing of the Sorosol, which, for those of you unfamiliar with the lore, that involves S shining his light on the formless flesh that Zek created when he forced the eggs to hatch prematurely. So there's this equation to light being this energy that can that gives life and can heal individuals, and so that's kind of where the direction is getting taken at this point. Oh. And in the meantime, I gotta set up to cut cards. So,
how many do you have left, Mir?
Around about 80, something like that. Very
Close.
Very close. I'm so excited to have this be done and over with. Like, when was the first community day hangout that I started doing this, and I got through like 400 cards my first day, and now I'm just struggling to get through less than 100 in a day.
Yeah, I think that was September 2nd.
September 2nd or 22nd?
22nd.
Gotcha. Okay. It's been nearly a month, but we have nearly all of those cards completed. At least nearly all of them as far as the original run of cards went, and we're inevitably going to have to change some things because I've already found some typos and some mismatching card effects that we're going to have to redo, but I'm just worried about getting the bulk of it finished, and we can worry about the rest of that later.
Yeah, man, what are you gonna do with yourself on these streams if you're not cutting cards?
It's a great.
You'll
be
have
beside
so much
yourself.
free time.
I'll have to. I'm trying to figure out, like, because for the community day live streams, that's kind of just what I've been doing as we've been hanging out. I've just been cutting cards and answering lore questions. So once I'm done with that, what do I do? What do I do with myself? So thinking about playing video games potentially, but I kind of don't want to do that. I want to be working on Colony while I'm answering lore questions and stuff. I want to be productive with it. At the same time, it'd be nice to just hang out and have a break instead of be working constantly.
Mhm.
Well, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah. I don't know. I am, as many of my friends have pointed out to me in the past year, or like probably about 2 years now. A lot of my friends say that I'm a workaholic when it comes to Colony. Once I get in the groove for it, I have a hard time stopping it.
Yeah, I mean that's a good sign. It shows you're passionate. It's,
Mhm.
I mean, damn. There's certain projects I have that I wish I had that kind of drive for constantly.
Oh, I gotta say though, I like, and this has happened this like basically 3 times this past month that I've gotten sick because of how frequent I'm just ignoring my health to work on Colony. I was out for like 3 or 4 days because my back was all twisted up from sitting terribly uh, from the community hangout where I cut all of those cards, and then basically doing the same thing again the next day. Um, I don't know. I need to calm down, basically.
Might be a little.
Maybe just a little bit. But to be fair, I haven't been able to get a whole lot of work done on Colony this year. Earlier this year, due to basically being in the middle of a move for about 3 months straight. So I'm playing catch up as far as I'm concerned. I'm just trying to get stuff done again. Oh. And especially now that like having like basically most of the card mechanics fleshed out, and we're starting to understand where some of the like the weaknesses in the system are, now that we have a more concrete idea of like how all of the mechanics flow together. It's just helped build all the rest of the systems up as we've been addressing all those problems, and it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
So despite having twisted my back up, despite feeling ill uh basically 3 weeks out of most weeks since we got back into the swing of things, I feel like there's been more progress behind the scenes than has been for quite a while now, to be honest. At least on the game development front. I'm pretty happy about that.
I am very excited for my first playtest, whenever that is.
Well, hopefully soon. I know that we're trying to gear it up so that way we can get all of the materials put together for internal play testing for all of the developers to just print their own stuff and be able to play at home with their friends to do some play testing and gather some feedback from that. I'm trying to do a semi-public play test. Well, I get, like a kind of a public play test as far as it really is. I'm trying to like get all of this done so I can do a play test at a store, at one of the local game shops here. What I really want to do with... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, more of a local playtest.
Local playtest, yeah. Technically public, but yeah, the local's a much better term to describe it. And then in the meantime, I'm also trying to catch up on some other work this weekend for extraneous parts of the project that once that work's done, I can kind of take my hands off of it and let other folks work on it. And then I'm trying to catch up on writing up in the lore Bible, getting things more concrete so we can present them to you guys, the viewers, faster. Just trying to get it out there.
I do love me some lore.
Tasty, tasty lore.
Lure, like Kroll Bass Fish Shop.
What? So, this is the art stream. What are your what are you working on? Like, what's your thought process right now with what you're making?
Well,
Oh,
I've been recently in the mood of like Silent Hill 2 because that remake just came out. So I'm trying to
Ooh.
go for that like deep fog, don't really know what's going on because this scene is just very disturbed right before the shining light of S shows up.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Good themes. Very cinematic. I appreciate that. You know, I don't think I've ever played Silent Hills 1 or Silent Hill 1. I I'll have to see about finding a place where I can play that sometime soon. You guys remember PT?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Silent Hills, that one didn't come out, man. I'm sorry.
Silent Hills 1 is non existent. Thanks, Konami. Thank you so much for being an asshole to. Oh, excuse me. Ah, man. Put $1 in the swear jar.
I wasn't the one that did it.
Ah! I can't escape it. We really do need a jar so I can start putting dollars into it. I keep saying that every stream, and every stream I still don't do it.
Fund our progress to get a jar.
Don't ask what the jar is for. But no, if they hadn't been meanie poopy buttholes to Kojima, maybe we'd have a really, really cool Silent Hill game. Alternatively, we probably wouldn't have Death Stranding, and I really like Death Stranding, so yeah. I can deal with not having Silent Hills since we got Death Stranding instead.
so going back to the jar, we should have it that one lucky patron is the winner of our swear jar at the end of some undisclosed amount of time.
Oh, I
know
This
thought
was
what?
not
the swear
discussed
jar
beforehand.
fund colony.
Yeah, the swear jar comes out of our personal accounts, and then we put that toward making something for Colony.
Oh, I didn't say they got the money in the jar. I just said they got the jar.
They get the jar. Yours to do with as you please. Oh, hey. Once I'm done with this, cutting out this sheet, I'll shill the fact that we're now on Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah.
We deleted our Twitter earlier today. We are now on Blue Sky instead. So give me just a few moments to finish cutting out these cards, and I'll get you guys a link for that.
I forget if YouTube has the like bot integration that Twitch does.
It has some bot integration. I'll have to probably talk to like Liam about that, because he knows way more about the bot integration than I do, and I don't know if you guys have any experience streaming on YouTube.
No.
No worries. Okay, let me That would be nice to just have a bot set up so we can just plaster our socials every 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe a different setup for the music too, so that you don't have to be listening to it constantly on loop.
True, that would be nice. I'll just ask Liam how he handles all that anyway. Also, speaking of the music, it stopped playing, so I gotta turn that back on.
Mm.
There we go. And just like that, we're back, baby. Let's see. Do. There we go. Looks like we got notifications. Looks like we got some followers, got some likes, and that's cool. Have one follower. Hadn't even announced yet. It's actually one of the guys that we followed earlier when we were setting the account up and looking to try and cultivate our feed for the account.
Oh, nice.
All right. Help me get back into cutting cards.
Yummers.
Yummers.
Okay. Setting up the sky so that eventually we'll have like S and the moon moving across the screen.
Wait.
Whoa! Honestly, being able to like have it be a very like smooth motion as the whole scene plays out would be pretty stellar if we can get that timing down in the animatic.
Oh yeah, as long as it's on a separate layer, I should be able to move it.
Sweet. Forgive me if
Has the zoom.
forgive me if I sound ignorant for asking this. Does that would you be able to also like have a rotating skybox with that too?
So
Oh.
probably not rotating, but I could I could have a moving skybox if it's drawn that way.
Okay.
Or just do a quick illustration of a looping texture for the sky and just put it on the interior of a sphere. The sky is a globe.
The dome, the glass dome. I just watched through all of season 2 of Smiling Friends, and the the episode where they get abducted by aliens, and when they're coming back, they see that the Earth is flat. I lost my mind. That was so funny.
Mir, we can't tell anybody about this.
We can't tell anybody about this. This changes everything. Look, the glass dome, just like he said. God, Smiling Friends is brilliant. Oh wow, that was the closest I've come to actually cutting myself.
Oh.
I went to go move one of the cards to get it like properly put on the stack, and the knife fell out of my hand and just barely like sideways scraped the side of my thumb, and it didn't hurt like at all, but I was like, oh, that could have been bad. Maybe I should be more careful.
Skill issue.
Skill issue, for real. Like, legitimately, I have not, like, come anywhere close to hurting myself the entire time I've been cutting out these cards. And I'm using a scalpel. Like, I'm using an X-Acto knife. Like...
I tricked y'all. You thought I was going to just copy paste the moon, but guess again, suckers. I hope this is entertaining content.
This man's does not copy paste, despite the fact that this is his own work. That is the integrity of this project.
I scammed all of you, all of those people that were just as long as those people weren't watching the stream that they are clearly tuned into is they're tuning into explicitly for the art. It's beautiful. I'm a genius.
Genius. Oh. Oh, hey, Matt.
What's up?
Any chance we could potentially get your time lapses of your artwork while we got you here from the past few streams?
Yeah, let me look and see if I can find those.
Thank you. Those would just be some nice middle form content to be able to post, and it also kind of like we can put like some splash text on the back end to just be like, hey, we got another one coming up this week.
Yeah, let me see if I can find where that was stored.
Thank you so much.
So we got the hit one. And then... So where So I will say that the last one I did is not stabilized because we had a little bit of a technical issue beforehand, but I do have the time lapse.
We've released non-stabilized videos for time lapses before. That doesn't bother me too much.
I will throw that into Premiere real quick.
One of the features of Clip Studio that I just kind of like coast on is the fact that it auto bakes.
Oh yeah, it just automatically records the session no matter what. And it does
It's
that
baked
by
into
just
the file.
Yeah, it does that by just keeping a long history of every stroke you've made, right? Every single action you take in the file.
That is my theory of it. Yeah, I've not seen it disproved, but the fact that it's able to keep track of all the little movements, that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. It's a really smart way to go about it. I don't know how much, like, it seems to me like that would be a lot of data to keep track of, but I also don't program, so I what do I know?
I'm gonna have to convert this to MP4. I'm not sure why OBS didn't do that automatically.
Okay.
Because we really need people to understand the value of MKVs.
God.
Is it doing it? Recording file. Oop, that's gonna take a minute. I am also working on a painting, but it is not for the stream, so I'm kind of just being quiet here, working away.
Thank you much. It's a surprise that we won't tell you about till later. Thank you so much for for coming in on your off day and working, Matt.
Yeah, no worries. It's I don't know. There's just some cards that weren't super exciting, like visually. You know, it's not a freaking Renaissance painting, so those aren't really fun to watch. So I figured I'll just do them on my own time.
Fair enough. Matt, the man making sure that the masses are entertained.
I do try to pick exciting pieces for the streams. I feel like I let you guys down a little bit last week. It wasn't a super interesting piece, but
what I found
it
interesting
wasn't
about it
that
was
bad either.
it was our first time really taking a super deep dive into like thinking about the way that the Iggy's venom operates, and so I got to learn more about like the chemical composition and we got to take creative liberties with that. I found it interesting.
Yeah, I mean it was a little something new. This is a little fresh.
Yeah.
Colin is just one of those worlds where every piece you sit down to do, there's just so much potential for what could go into it. Just visually, stylistically, you just never know.
Yeah.
Color palettes, like man, you can get really creative with color palettes in Colony.
I feel very lucky to have stumbled across this idea, and having been in a very unique position to be able to bring it to fruition, you know, by bringing my friends on board with it. It's very, very cool to be able to see all of the different takes on how we express this mythology and this lore. It's super cool. I love it. being able to just kick back with your friends and express this raw creativity through a unified outlet like this is just, it's unbelievably cool to just do that with your buddies and hang out with them while you're making stuff together. It's so fun. Even the
Indeed.
stressful parts. Even doing the crunchy game mechanics. Once you're done with it, you look at it and you're like, "Oh, that's cool. We did that." Like,
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, but if I just give it a little bit of that razzle dazzle.
oh, butter the razzmatazz.
It is already getting dark outside. I hate this time of year.
I love this time of year.
Well,
I-
one of you is lying.
I mean, I grew up in Arizona, so being basked in deadly sunlight for however many hours of the day is brutal, and so being now in a place where it rains most of the time is excellent. I can't imagine, though, that trying to deal with... I mean, like, you're in the same place where you grew up right now, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Being in the same spot that long, that'll do stuff to you. I will say this. My first winter in the northern part of the States, I was in Wyoming or Montana for my first winter, and seeing the sun go down at 5 p.m. freaked me out, man. Like, I was like, end of days. Like,
Aw.
and because of how much it snowed up in Montana during that time, it was just like, I didn't see the sun for probably a solid 3 months straight. As soon as I got up there, I didn't have any adjustment time for the temperature or anything. My first day was -40. Like,
Ah. Yeah, it's a little cold.
well, just a little bit. I'll never forget the experience of walking outside the airport, and at the exact same time, the liquid in my eyeballs, like on the surface of my eyeballs, kind of like frosted over a little bit, and my nose just turned to icicles. Like, awful stuff. Hated it.
So hey, real quick, how are we approaching the depiction of Zek?
Good question.
Been maintaining the previous design, although I have to actually get that back up. A lickety split.
We
But
had
there was
some.
supposed to be a change.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we mentioned a change. I think we had a more humanistic design the last time we were putting this together. I think having the more esoteric design would probably be better, like having him still be a glyph in the sky. I don't know, that's
I
kind
agree
of
with that as well.
my feelings about it.
Yeah.
The reason we went for the human build on Zek was because I literally used the term in the scriptural text that he crushes the egg beneath his foot. And so he had to have feet. And so we were just like, I'll just make him a dude. but we've kind of nixed that now, so I feel like having him be up in the sky would probably be a little bit more interesting as his glyph form.
Mm.
And then you have the horrifying disfigured source all just wandering through the fog.
Yeah. That with all of those different layers of fog like built up to mask them in different ways, that's gonna be scary.
Maybe. Because I'm just thinking about the original composition. Was that it was going to be. What's about the S versus what Zek has done compositionally requires him to be in the bottom, so that way it can rise into the top as like a power thing.
Oh, I
but if
kind of
he's
see
also in the sky, that doesn't work with this shot.
Then maybe just having him be in his glyph form close to the ground would be all right. Then I guess he doesn't have to be in the sky, but like having him closer to the ground and in his glyph form would still be fine.
Let me pull back up the reference of that one then.
Okay.
Where did I shut that off to?
Man of culture.
I don't think that was 10 seconds. I think we should be fine.
Metallica would like to know your location. We heard you were using somebody else's music. I don't care if you were doing it. Still so funny to me that Metallica's live stream got muted as because it got copyright stricken. That was almost a decade ago. I feel like that happened. I could be wrong. I have a bad time dilation with stuff that happened more than 6 months ago, but that was really funny when that happened.
Lots of fun.
truly enthralling live commentary.
Sorry. I'm cutting cards. My
The dogs were
brain.
barking. That's why I'm on push to talk.
Ah.
And I keep forgetting that every once in a while, so that it ends up with this situation where it's like, yeah, I'm starting a bit. Right. I forgot. Nobody can hear my bit.
Also, not gonna lie, kind of just vibes with the music in the background.
I don't think I can listen to music while doing these streams. My earbuds seem to just magically get caught by my microphone for no reason.
Well, I got the music going in the background, so it's just vibes for me. Although, it also much to my detriment, because I have probably listened to this soundtrack on loop for... Oh god, let's see, so it's a 40-minute soundtrack. We've done... like 8 hours, 8.5 hours of streams so far, probably more than that. Oh no, just about, yeah.
Screw it. We start using copyright music.
Yeah, at least it isn't copyright music, yeah.
Oh no, I'm saying screw it. We should just use copyright music.
Oh.
We could lose all of the audio though. That wouldn't be good.
I guess
Think of
this
the memes. I could go do the entire time.
this is our sign to get the next volume of music made. Which is something that's in the works. It's just taking a while. There's also potential for another audio format thing to come out before Volume 2 releases, but that's for another time. We'll talk about that later. Projects upon projects upon projects. Projects within projects upon projects.
Only so many hours in the day.
Only so many hours in the day, only so much tension my back can take before it decides that I'm an old man and immobilized.
What we do is we start using previous live streams as the background audio. So 12 streams in, no one can tell anything. But every swear sworn still counts the jar.
Yes, yes. And it compacts exponentially with every stream.
Your Paleozoic ancestors be like, you have lost spine privileges.
Basically. I have a McDonald's hamburger here at my desk. I could just turn this into the grossest ASMR session alive.
Please don't.
Everybody in this chat just had nom flashbacks to when I used to do Taco Bell ASMR as a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the activity in chat?
What's that?
Any activity in like the YouTube chat?
Earlier before we started, a guy named Jar Jar S commented and said, "Just hopping by to say how impressed I am by you guys, by your guys' originality in putting something down here that truly feels authentic. Cheers." So that was nice. But aside from that, all the other chats are quiet. We haven't even gotten any of our Discord friends coming in to hang out. To be fair, I have been kind of quiet this week because I've just been not feeling all that good. But past few days have been all right, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of answering lore questions for folks around here.
Bug.
Bug.
Bread.
It's a bug. Excuse me.
Was that going to be the impact crater?
Yeah, that's supposed to be where the clutch of eggs that the previous shot had was.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then it's going to like slime out for like some of those.
Just have some gross trails leading off into the mists.
The
Ooh, the idea of like the mists obscuring the Soda Sol's forms before they're healed, and then like you kind of see their silhouettes through the mists when S shines his light, and then the mists kind of peel back as the light comes through. That would be so sick. Oh, looks like one of our Discord friends, Imbecilium's up and about, asking us how he's doing, or how we're doing.
Doing good, man. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. I'm alright.
drawn the parts of the bug story where the bugs haven't showed up yet. But don't worry, the bugs are coming.
The bugs are coming.
Bug into life. Or is it bug life?
It's ants, but without the ants, so it's just Zed.
It's just Z, and that stands for Zek.
Oh shit.
It's been very funny every time I go into my local game shop to pick up some like some materials that I need for cards and stuff, especially just card sleeves and card boxes. I go in there, and the guy who owns the place, his name is Nick, and I go in there and he's like, "Hey dude, what are you in here for today?" I was like, "Take a guess." He's basically, the week that I moved up here, I went around to all the game shops and was just like trying to introduce myself, get information about anything that they do with local game devs and like for playtesting days and stuff like that. And so they all kind of know me a little bit. I hang out at one particular one more than any of them because there's a particular period of time where it's mostly dead in there. So I'll go in, and I usually don't have a whole lot of money to like spend on a proper game or anything like that, but they sell snacks, so I buy a selection of snacks and I just sit in and I work on Colony while I sit in there. And every once in a while, Nick will come up to me and ask me how I'm doing and like ask me questions about Colony or something like that. It's cool.
You're scheduled for a termite infestation this Friday. Do you have any of those kettle jalapeno chips?
You know, so they don't have any of the Kettle brand chips, but they do have
December it is.
They have, oh god, they have I think they're called Hawaiian Chip Company or something like that. Very, very good. Their best flavor is it's called like sweet onion luau or something like that. It's excellent. But then they also have they don't have your standard fare of candy bar assortment there, but they do have a Take 5 bar where it's like peanut butter and chocolate, like, and I think it's like made by Reese's. It's peanut butter and chocolate on a bed of pretzels. And I really like it. I really, really like it. So I buy a couple of those, and yeah, that and some water, and I'm usually well set for sitting in there for 4 hours working on Colony.
So what you're saying is that you'll be able to do the card cutting at double speed with just like a Take 5 bar.
Probably not. I'll be too busy eating to properly do the. Plus, sugar makes me lethargic. I don't know if you know that. Sugar does quite the opposite for me than it does for most folks.
Quick lore question regarding this piece.
Yeah.
Are the Po Momoku still the cayenne color, or is it something else now?
They're probably cyan, yeah. Because they still worship Lao, yeah. There are a few exceptions. I'm thinking the Emi, which are the pavement ants. I feel like they probably worship Oakt more than they worship Lao. That's just my thinking on it, though. I haven't written a whole ton of their lore and background history just yet, but soon I will. That is one of the things that I'm working towards. Wrapping up a bunch of the work for other extraneous parts of the project that I just need to get a few things done on and then move on. I want to get back to work writing the deep scriptural lore and the scriptural history. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about done with this piece, so I'll upload it and then probably hop off. So
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Matt. That was a very nice surprise to have some more art done today.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
really
for sure.
appreciated.
Hello to the chat, be that live or watching the replay. And yeah, I'll see you all around. Take care.
Yeah, have a good one,
See
Matt.
ya.
Take care.
Oh, Imbecilium, can I relay one of my questions from General? Please. Please do. Anything to break up the monotony of cutting cards. Not certain about something. If what I've heard / collated is correct, all caterpillars fall under the Mir branch. Then what defines a Hetzmir from a Rosemir? Are they, for the lack of a better term, fated to become their respective form, or does a Mir that doesn't undergo the trial of patience and pain become a Het? And depending on the answer therein, could a caterpillar laid by a Het be raised and metamorphosed into a Ro and vice versa? So, the Mir are not exactly a species. They are a collective comprised actually not mostly of caterpillars, but mostly of millipedes. So the Mir are merchants. That's what, like, they are a collective of merchants, and they started off as caterpillars within their lore. The way that it goes is there was, so within a Ro culture there is kind of and I kind of drew inspiration from some of the Jedi traditions with Jedi who did not attain the rank of knighthood, where they're kind of used as healers or as other temple duties within the temple. That's kind of where the idea for this aspect of the lore came from, is that so the caterpillars are called Ra, R-A, Ra, and they are effectively students. They study theory, magic theory, before they are wrapped in cocoons and they undergo the trial of patience and pain. For those caterpillars, for those Ra who do not meet the expectations for where they ought to be in their studies by the time they reach the maturity stage, when they can become, like, when they can take on the trial, they are often rejected and withheld from entering the trial, and so they just remain in this caterpillar state forever. And they are tasked with being kind of monks and assistants around the college. And at one point in their history, there was an uprising of Ra who deemed that such a thing was a disservice to the fact that they had more time to be able to pursue that magic theory, to pursue magic practice, and they were being withheld from being able to do so. And so they collectively, those Ra, left the that college and established a new tradition of being merchants amongst people and being very knowledgeable in cultures and in magic. They were able to establish themselves very quickly within this economic zeitgeist that they had kind of found themselves in, and so they were able to create very quick relations, and over time they just developed more legs with which to or more hands and legs, more arms to be able to handle goods, and that's kind of the way that they understand their transition from being caterpillars into becoming the millipedes. And of course this is not scientifically accurate, but it's the way that they explain it within their lore, the way that the Mir explain their existence. Now, not all Mir contemporarily are millipedes, and they still accept any Ra who come to them who don't want to be a part of the Row colleges anymore. And likewise, there's also just not necessarily a particular cap on the kinds of people who can join a Mir caravan. A lot of Mir caravan like to keep Edom with them as heralds of music and heralds of their arrival and stuff like that. So yeah, so not all of the caterpillar are Mir. The Mir are a diverse people, mostly comprised of millipedes, but they welcome any who want to join them. As far as Het caterpillars go, Het caterpillars are kind of cursed to look a very particular way. And the way that they look is, if you would like to look up Brahmin moth caterpillars, they look like that, but with various underlying colors. And amidst other cultures, a lot of them call them Venom Raw because of their appearance, and it's somewhat of a slur. But they go through the same trial of patience and pain that Butterfly Raw do as well. So, yeah, there you go. Now back to cutting cards. Thank you for the question, Imbecilium. Glad to give some clarification.
Ooh. Meanwhile, Perp is starting to get into the body horror.
Ooh, let's go. Now, in regards to the Het's trial, do you think they would put their own spin names and such on it if there is a degree of enmity between Het and Ro? They probably still call it the Trial of Patience and Pain. They don't wrap themselves in leaves, in similitude to the mother tree. Instead, they wrap themselves in silk that they spin themselves. And that's kind of most of the difference. When they emerge, they spool their silk, and they use that as currency, effectively. It is much the same trial, though. For them, it's just a biological necessity at this point to achieve Hethood, as opposed to the sacredness that the trial represents to the Ro. And most Het caterpillars will go through the trial. They don't have a whole lot of other aspirations in life aside from that. So, yeah, it's kind of just where it is with that. If a Ra was put through the Het trial and vice versa, there would be some degree of malformation during the process. So they would probably come out malformed, no matter which way that you go. Because it's not the way that they're designed, that they're meant to go through it. It's also highly unlikely that it would happen. It's not unheard of, but it is unlikely. Especially because the Ro and the Het, well, the Het specifically are very protective of their Ra because they have this stigma around them being viewed as bad omens, and they would probably get hurt if they were out in public for very long. And Ro caterpillars just don't really like to leave the academy unless they just don't want to be a Ro. They don't want to be a mage. And most of the time they will take up some kind of a shelter in the same way that bagmoth or bagworms do. They probably won't be unless they are actually a bagworm, they likely won't take up that kind of exact structure for their mobile house. But many Ra who go off into the wilds to explore on their own, most of them do end up becoming Mir eventually, and they just end up having like their own abodes that they live inside of. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers the question.
Love how that mist is coming along.
Oh yeah, that is excellent. That dude in the fog is crazy. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my second to last card sheet.
Nice.
The end
Let's
is
go.
in sight, thank God. Wondering about something other. If there are some manta who embrace their nature rather than control it, how would the aesthetic of a manta adopting the visage of a soda sol to embody the embracing? How would the aesthetic of a manta go adopting the visage of a soda sol to embody the embracing of their nature as a predator? Interesting question. I don't know if they would necessarily adopt the visage of a soda sol. A lot of manta do tend to wear clothing of some sort, some kind of garment. A feral manta would probably forgo that. There'd just be something more wild and shaky, and it would be more of a behavioral thing that you would notice more than a visual thing. They probably wouldn't adopt the usage of weapons. They'd probably just be using their manta scythes, their blades at the end of their arms. I imagine, if anything, they would try and paint themselves to be as close to whatever environment that they're in as possible, presuming that they aren't already the color of their environment. So you'd have them like painting themselves like chalk white if they were in like a very stone-ridden environment or something like that. So there's just that's kind of the way that I would imagine them to be. They would forgo clothing, forgo armor, forgo weaponry, just straight up be just very raw praying mantises, just very feral. That idea of like ferality within Colony is definitely something that I've put a lot of thought into for the Children of the Amber, especially. And it's like this sentiment that it's not necessarily that they can't be civilized, it's that they are actively choosing not to be. And in much the same way, the so-called civilized folk of the Sekuta can go feral, just in that same manner. Just by simply choosing not to exhibit more empathetic behavior. And that's the cards.
Let's go.
Right.
Probably build a deck right now if I really wanted to. I even got, you know what? I will. I have a character sheet right here anyway. I just need to find a pencil. One moment. Okay. You plan to go to digital format one day, say Roll20? If we're gonna do a digital format for the game, I want to do I would like it to be a proprietary software. Which would be difficult, but it's something in that is so far along in the works that it's, or so far away from being in like the pipeline of our work that I'm not all that worried about it. I do want to do a digital format of the game though. Definitely in the imagining space for it. So, this particular deck that I'm building is Apophora, which are harvester ants. So their special tribal traits are herbology. They use all sorts of plants and farming information to understand how to gain energy, like special energies from it. And the cool thing is that all of their herbology starts at level 0 as far as resources that you need to use. So I can put all 5 of those in my deck right off the bat.
So what else are you putting in your deck, Mir?
Well, I just finished it, and I'm about to sleeve the cards. Once I got them sleeved, I'll run through the idea with you.
Okay.
Sorry, I got quiet while I was thinking. Okay. So I've got the 5 herbology cards, which let you regain marrow tokens by consuming forage.
Mhm.
I have a prayer to Zhao, which lets me restore chitin and a card that I'm burdened with. I got Sure Step and Unbroken Stride, so I got nice mobility right there. Spontaneous Solution to bolster roll checks. This is basically just like, this guy, I want it to be very much a... He is... Or she, rather. Statistically she. A very... Like, it just plays around a lot with conditions and stuff that's not as combat focused. But still has combat. I decided that they're gonna have some kind of an impact weapon, maybe a club or something like that. They have Venom. They've got some Rush cards in here for sugar highs, and I gave them some Tunnel Fighter stuff and a wound care card. So some interesting stuff to work with in here. I think this will be a fun deck to play with. Probably more support based than anything else, but yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a different playstyle from some of the others you've put together for this playtest.
Oh, definitely. Oh man, and with that, that is all 10 tribes that we have in the system represented in card decks. I still have to write this this character's sheet up, but aside from that, we're there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do a little cleanup.
Oh wow. So is this the shape of Zek's glyph projected on the ground?
Yeah, try and medium or middle ground.
Oh.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that gave me kind of the same vibes as what's it called, in Jurassic Park when or I guess also in the Matrix when they do this, when the code is projected onto their faces from the computer
yeah.
screen. Kind of gives me the same vibe, but a little bit different. Let's see if I can squeeze all these cards in here. Please fit. And they fit, thank God. Okay. At some point, I gotta do a shuffle to get all of these reorganized. Man, and now my elbows are all kinds of messed up. Let's go.
Yo,
Yo.
who needs joints anyway?
For
Gonna
real.
be built like a action figure from the '60s.
Built like a bionicle.
No, those guys have like joints.
Well,
Unless we're talking about like modern times where like those are starting to erode.
I'm thinking more like 01 and 02 models where they just don't have elbows or knees.
I'm built like a slicer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. I think I will mute for just a little bit so I can eat my burger without bothering you folks. So I'll be back
I
momentarily.
made sure to eat before stream this time.
Good, good. I didn't. Well, I ate a little bit, but my stomach's weird, so I have to eat a lot more consistently. But either way, I'll be back in a little while. Or not a little while, few minutes.
Oh, that's gonna look so cool.
It's like one of the. It's like that scene from that niche psychological horror anime, Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah? The forbidden alchemy?
Let's get a new deal. Researchers.
And I'm back. Thanks for being patient with me.
No worries.
Oh. Dude, what? This, whoa! That's
Yeah.
so sick! What? This
Have
land
cake and eat it too.
This land is cursed. He smote this spot in particular.
He's just around the shattered clutch of eggs. It's like, no, let me cook. Let me cook.
I got ideas. They're cooking. I'm making silent moves. Crushes the egg.
And maybe if I just kind of get around it, this horrible damage I've done is going to look less bad. Is there a proverbial carpet I can sweep this thing under? There was only like 8 of these. It's fine.
Man. Dude, this is so sick. I'm so... This is so cool! I think I see where you're going with that one too. Oh.
Oh, nothing good, that's for sure, imbecilium.
Yeah. In the video talking about the soda sol that Lorem Ipsum made, he talked about the way that he phrases it when Zek brings S to come see them. S sees it's really funny. His editing was perfect for it. He had like some of our music in the background while everything was playing, and he's like, and then Zek brought S to come and see what he had done, thinking that he would be happy with that. And then all of the music stops, it zooms in on S, and he's like, but that didn't really happen. Yeah. S gets mad. Gets very mad. Not my light babies. Now they're made of meat.
Do to them?
Why are my light babies made of meat now? And S turns Zek into the divine equivalent of a castrati. Jeez. more or less. He yeets him out into the depths of the deep, out into space. Oh shoot. My Bluetooth headphones have been on this entire time, and they were already on low battery when I started streaming, so I need to get those on the charge.
Oh no.
Luckily, those are not the headphones I'm using for the stream, but still would be nice to get them charged. I'm currently trying to think about lore right now. Things that I want to do for lore with the moon in particular, since you brought it up earlier. I'll have to dive into some other mythologies about the moon and what it I mean, aside from like the standard fare of like moon magic and stuff like that. I've got to dive in and see what else I can find on like different cultures' interpretation of the moon and the cycles and everything. Just see what I can do about it. See what sounds cool. See what feels right within this context of this world.
Mhm. Oh, looks like Imbecilium has a question.
Oh. Wonder how long it's gonna be before someone decides to make an Egon-esque character. Egon. Unsure what you mean by Egon. Like, who you mean by Egon, I guess is what I mean. Sorry, should have specified as in once WOC is out that a player decides to. You mean the RPG? I still don't know who Egon is.
Is it the guy from Ghostbusters?
And that is an Egon.
Spelled differently though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just not sure who Egon is, I guess.
Is that the cursed great being from Bionicle?
um Trying to think. Oh, he's a character from Elden Ring. Oh, I haven't played Shadow of the Erd Tree yet. I when it came out, I actually own it, but he's an XP of Captain Ahab. Oh, interesting. Okay. See, I own Shadow of the Erd Tree, but I don't have a save. I couldn't get the time set apart to play through to make a save to set it up so I could play Shadow of the Erd Tree. So I still haven't played any of it. So I gotta, and surprisingly I've seen some of what occurs in that DLC, but I haven't gotten majorly spoiled. But I believe it's Mikola ends up being just the piece of crap that everybody kind of assumed Mikola was, but even worse. Quite frankly, there's very few characters in Elden Ring who are actually empathetic. Radon certainly became more empathetic as a result of Shadow of the Erd Tree, but either way, I still have to play through it, and yeah, I guess I'll learn more about who Egon is later. Be keen to hear about a Sekuta who was adamant about felling something much larger than itself. So that is something we've kind of talked about before. Certainly there's obviously the possibility that a Sekuta could theoretically down a Sodasol. That's absolutely not out of the question. It's obviously unlikely, but it could happen. So yeah, we could have like a Captain Ahab kind of a character in that regard. Cow Killer Ant / Velvet Ant or a Tarantula Hawk. Tarantula Hawk could definitely be a character like that. Man. Tarantula Hawks are going to be cool. I'm very excited to get into Wasps and Hornets when we eventually get into that expansion. Oh, I almost got really excited. I thought my
Well?
X-Acto knife handle had a secret compartment hiding extra blades,
Oh,
but it didn't.
oh, what a shame.
What a shame.
There's like 8 places. They're like inside of this X-Acto knife is a completely unused X-Acto knife.
Well, that's the thing. I've cut so many cards over the past few days that like all the tips on all my X-Acto knives are very dull now.
Mm.
So I've been wanting to get new blades, but I don't have money for new blades. I'm just kind of dealing with it.
Well, at the very least, you are done cutting cards, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for now.
Well, done cutting most of the cards.
Mhm. Yeah.
Man. The great cardemic of 2024. Once we're all wrapped up with the stream tonight, I'm definitely gonna go downstairs and just lie down flat on the couch and just pretend that I'm watching a movie or something like that and probably zonk out. My back hurts so much. Now I've got another dumb question. As ants, wasps, hornets, and bees stem from one genus/family of insects before diversifying, is there potential lore to account for this? Not lore, not yet. But you're on the right track. You've discovered something of an inconsistency, and I'm excited that you found that because that means that you're paying attention to certain qualities that of our lore that are inconsistent with our factor of scientifically informed fantasy. So, I won't go too far into that. But yes, there is something to be said about that fact, and I will go no further in specifying what that is.
Trying to spoil yourself by thinking scientifically informed. I admire that.
Ooh, is this going to be S?
Yeah, just
Ooh.
getting the start of the thing.
Yeah, the glyphs.
Mhm.
Excellent. very interesting. I'm not surprised too. The history of the world is spoken, yep, oral tradition, and felt through the Momoku, so there is lots and lots of room for the Sekuta's own perception of the world and their own justification as to why things are the way they are. Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely. It's kind of commentary on the way that, you know, we as humanity interpreted our place within nature on a spiritual level before thinking about it at a biological level. And that's kind of part of the commentary that I'm going for with that. But again, I won't go any further with that. But good eye. Very good eye. Goodness. A lot of yawning today. My brain's been working overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, tomorrow, all I gotta do is talk.
You won't have time to yawn.
Well, there'll be plenty of time for yawning. And luckily, I don't have to think about what I'm talking about tomorrow, neither. It's all written down. It's all ready to go. For those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you, I'm recording a bunch of lines for new lore shorts. Not to get you guys excited about that, because I don't know when those will be coming out, but I'm at least recording the audio for a bunch of them. And more movements to the Song of Origins. So, I'm just going to do a big day of voice acting tomorrow.
That should be all of the card descriptions formatted for the checklist document.
Sweet. Thank you much.
Well, I know Charles and Matt have said that it makes this process a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, in the next portion of the Song of Origins, the teaser that I put out, a lot is gonna change from that teaser. That teaser's years old now, but some of the other voice actors, in fact, 3 of the other voice actors are going to get shown. You're going to be able to see our voice actors for S, Zek, and Sue. So that'll be fun. Then in the next Song of Origins video, you're gonna see mostly just narrator, which is me, and the Mother Tree's voice actor. So, lots going on there.
To temper your expectations a little bit, we are splitting the Song of Origins into multiple parts.
Yes, it'll be in 3 parts. The first part will be the first 3 movements. The second part will be movements 4 through 6, and then the last part will be movements 7 and 8. Thank you. Well, the Song of Origins video has been... We were trying to get it out, I think the end of 2022, I want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 21? I can't remember. It's been a while. We've been working on it for a while. It's just been... Life got insane for a while, especially with the falling out with our previous game dev. That was a huge problem. So trying to get back on course after that whole debacle has been a lot, to say the least.
Yeah, there was a period of time where we decided that we really had to prioritize the game above just getting to the point where maybe we can start working on some other stuff again.
Yeah. And we got there right around the same time that our popularity picked up on YouTube again. And so we were like, well, we got to put out content, so this is just as good of an excuse as any to get the Song of Origins stuff going.
And it's not solely just an origin story, but by the end of it, it's sort of showing you how the Sekuta are situated in their modern lives in the current day of the story, so to speak.
That's true. There's kind of the 7th movement is kind of like a TLDR of the rest of the book. Or the rest of the scriptures, rather.
Making sure to do all the color toning in separate folders.
Yeah. This one is the deep green. It's that the deep greens, the deep reds, and then the awash with the pinks.
Mhm. Thank you. That should make it a lot easier for me when I'm pulling these apart a little bit to put them into the video format.
Mm-hmm.
Be drawing the image, but like 8 times.
Basically what animatics are.
There we go.
How are we feeling right now? Welfare check.
Might be starting to slow down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Well, we're at the 2.5 hour mark. Do you want to keep going or do you want to call it quits? I'm good either way.
Yeah, that we could call it short for the time being.
Okay, sounds good. Well, in that case, thank you everybody for joining and for watching in the VOD, and we will see you around later. Have a good one.
Take care.